Hi, this is Dr. Darwin Hayes, the new dentist coach, with another edition of Ask Dr. Darwin, where you ask questions and we get you the answers. You can ask questions about oral health care as a patient, but also ask questions as a person who's interested in becoming a dentist and exploring the opportunities in the profession of dentistry. Please be sure to share each and every episode and subscribe to my channel, Dr. Darwin Speaks, on YouTube, as I will be posting on every Monday with a new episode. Today's episode is one of which we're continuing to go internationally. We have a little international flavor today. I have a prospective applicant all the way from Cairo, Egypt. We have future student doctor, or future Dr. Ahmed, calling in from Cairo today, and we're going to be talking to him. He's got a question, and I want him to share that question, and let's see how we can get him prepared. Ahmed, welcome. Thank you so much for calling in, and I'm glad we're able to get this done today.
I'm glad for this opportunity, and I'm hoping to make the best out of it.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about yourself and the reason for your us linking up today.
Yeah, I am graduate of university in Egypt. Its name is Misr International University in Cairo. It's a private university. I graduated in 2013. And then I worked a lot in community care service clinics, and as well as a lot of orthodontic experiences with a professor in Egypt, University in Egypt. His name is I have taken a lot of experience in orthodontic care in patients, in how to manage mechanics, in diagnosis, treatment planning, and I attended a course, postgraduate course, orthodontic based, for 2 years in Egypt also, and its instructor was associate professor at University of Pacific in US, and I have military experience. I have served in the military for 1 year.
I'm having a hard time hearing you, Ahmed. I'm having a hard time hearing you. It could be the mic there. You're kind of going in and out just a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see. Try that. That was better.
Yeah. Okay. I am, as I told you, I am graduated in 2013. I have attended orthodontic courses, aesthetics courses, and as well working a lot in clinics with my senior, my mentor, Dr. Ahmed. He's orthodontist, associate professor at, and I have attended the internship in many universities in Egypt. I served in the military as a dentist. Also, that was a great experience. I worked as assistant. I worked as dentist, general dentistry mainly. I did ortho, a lot of orthodontic cases. Not as the main operator, but as a follow-up dentist, or not me. I was not making the treatment plan for these cases. My mentor, my senior, was making these treatment plans, and I was just following them and doing the interdisciplinary work, and doing the mechanics, and doing the fractions, and doing the finishing, everything, changing wires. I did everything in many cases. So I think I have a good orthodontic background, mainly orthodontic background. I think I'm very good in this area, and I am hoping to programs. And my strategy, and I have come with a certain strategy to apply this year, and I don't know if this can be right or wrong. That's what I want the help from you.
So you are applying. So you've had some experience working in ortho offices. You had some internships, and you're looking to apply to ortho programs in the U.S.
Yes.
Coming up this year, correct?
Yes, this year.
So what is your question or your concern? What's the thing that you're trying to find out?
Yeah, my primary concern is to. Sorry. Primary concern or my primary question is how does the universities in the US consider us international students at this standing, and do they consider us for interviews or for application, or is it like not worth it to apply this year before taking a DDS or taking a GPR or AGD program first? So that's my first question. Second, I want to proceed a little bit with the pragmatic application process, as to ask about the recommendation letters and how how much can they be a help for me in my application, and GRE and TOEFL. I am going to take it this year to take them. Are they sufficient for me to proceed with the application or not? I heard some universities, I have looked in their websites, they tell that they don't need the national board, and their primary consideration is GRE test and TOEFL. So
what was your question about the GRE and the TOEFL? What was the question? Is it sufficient? What did you say?
Yeah, I am asking, is it sufficient to buy for short 1 and 2, even if the universities don't ask for them? Yeah.
That last question, I was trying to understand with the question. For the you're asking if the GRE and the TOEFL, if taking it is sufficient, and
in some, this is my question. Yes, in some universities, they say in their website that the international dentists don't have to take the national board. In some universities, and I'm meaning a handful of universities, not every university. Of course, every university, the great majority, will recommend national board part 1 and 2, and some of them will require you to be a resident of the state where you're applying. And I'm asking my question about the universities which I am looking to apply for them. They don't need national boards. So is it how do you evaluate my chance of GRE? And I am preparing well for the GRE.
Right. Okay. Well, let's go to that question. Let's go to that question. So
how are my chances?
Yeah. Let's go to that question. So the GRE and the TOEFL. I mean, I think, and I'm no expert on that, but I think you really have to. It really goes back to the school. You really have to do your homework and look at the schools that you're interested in. I would tell you, there's an old saying that goes like this: better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So it may be best.
Yeah, I got it.
It may be best that you do a couple of these things so that you're able to apply to programs that don't say they need it, and then some that do say they need it. That way, you open yourself to more opportunities. And as you're finding, some programs will have certain requirements that others do not. So that's my feedback on the GRE and the TOEFL. As it relates to your second question, which was letters of recommendation and how can they help you? Even if you were in the U.S. and you went to a U.S. school, you must have your letters of recommendation. They are a third party's view of who you are. They give us insight to your character, and they give us insight into who you are as an individual, and also can confirm the things that you've been doing in those types of environments that you've been working in. So you always want a letter of recommendation or referral source from someone that knows you best, that has worked with you, that has spent some time with you, that can not only talk about your clinical side, but also talk about you as an individual, you as a person, Ahmed as a person. So those are very, very important. Okay, very important, because what happens is the evaluators of the admissions committee are going to take what they say and then talk to you face to face to see if it matches up. So that is why those letters of recommendation are very, very important. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you best.
So you definitely want to make sure that you have, a minimum of 3, but I would say even 4 or 5 letters of recommendations of people that you've worked with, maybe both at school, at university, but also in those internships or any offices, or maybe a military dentist that you worked with or worked in his or her unit. Those are the key people that you want to have write letters for you. Okay. And then as it relates to your question about how does the U.S. consider international students and that standing as part of the application, is it even worth it to apply? This question is best answered based on your research that you're doing right now. You have to kind of look at, and this is the same thing if you were in the U.S. already. You have to look at where you want to go and do your ortho program, where you want to do, where you may want to live, but more importantly, where you want to do your ortho training. So one of the things that I would tell you where you need to start right now is look at all the ortho programs in the U.S., and then you want to look and see, if you can, what the admissions criteria are, right? What the requirements are. And then you may even want, the next step is to look and see if they have international students as part of their program. Those 2 parts are going to be very important for you to start making your list of places to apply to. You want to go to a program that has international students, or that is international students friendly. For for many, and I say friendly in the sense that maybe, and there are some schools that have some collaborations with international, other countries, other universities in other countries, where they have their doctors from the international ranks come to the U.S. and train, and then they go back to their country. So there are some schools that have that collaboration. You just have to find out which ones they are as relates to your area of interest. So that's going to be key. So it is worth it. Yeah, it's definitely worth it. But you're going to have to find out what those programs are. You may even be able to find out from your international university if there are graduates of your school that have done some training in the U.S. and where have they gone and for what programs. There may be a list of graduates or alumni from your school that are currently doing programs internationally. And I don't know if the school has a list of that, but that may be a very good resource for you to look at. Okay. Now also there's some programs that are not international dentist friendly, meaning in order to do your residency or specialty program, you have to be a graduate of a U.S. Of an approved U.S. CODA, Commission on Dental Accreditation school. So for those programs, you may have more of a challenge because you may have to do a 2-year program in the U.S. or even a 4-year program in the U.S., depending on what school. There are some schools in the U.S. that have a 2-year international program where you go there for 2 years at the dental school and you get a U.S. dental degree, and you're able to continue and apply to specialty programs.
Okay, in this particular issue, I have a question. Since I graduated from a course, I have taken that certifies me as a 2-year experience in ortho from the California Board of Orthodontics. Is that of help, or is that not of help?
It depends on what program certifies or acknowledges that 2-year program. Were you in the U.S. when you did that?
No.
So just because someone in California certified, it doesn't mean that a school in the U.S. is going to certify it. So I was shaking my head when you were asking the question, because whatever you did over there may not have any significance to the U.S. programs. You see what I'm saying? So all of your training, everything over there, may not have any significance depending on what school you're applying to or what specialty you're applying to. That's why I think you need to really focus your energy on really doing some research on those ortho programs that you may be interested in. And probably the best way for you to do that is you need to do a Google search on U.S. orthodontic programs. And you can go to, I think it's, you have to go to the PASS, PASS, which is the Postdoctoral Application Services website. And it'll give you all of the ortho programs that are in the U.S. And it'll link you to it'll give you a listing of all the U.S. ortho programs, and you need to go through those programs and then search them individually to find out what the requirements are, find out if they have an international relationship with other countries or other schools internationally, and you need to also look at what the requirements are. That 2-year certification that you had in Egypt is great for Egypt, but it may not be great for the U.S. It just shows that you have some more experience, which may be helpful in your applying to U.S. programs, but only those U.S. programs that take in or that admit international students. That's what you got to find out. That's your homework. That's what you got to find out. And I think once you do that, you'll come up with a list. All right, you'll come up with a list of those programs, and then from that list, you start doing your, looking at them a little bit deeper. That's how I would start it. Okay, I think that's how we'll start. And let's do this. Let's stay in contact, because I wanna see what you find. I want to see what your research finds. Like I said, I know there are some schools for some of the specialty programs, whether it be ortho, whether it be endo. I know right now there's a endo program in Cleveland, Ohio, called Case Western University. And the school has a direct relationship with, I think it is Egypt, either Egypt, one of the universities in either Egypt or maybe in Saudi Arabia, one of the two. And one of the highlights of that relationship is that they have international students from that country coming to Case Western, where they have maybe 1 or 2 positions just for the international students, and they have that relationship. They have that relationship that they've established. That's the type of thing that you want to try to find out in some of these ortho programs. You want to look at schools that take international students as dental students. UCLA in California, USC in California, the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Trying to think. And there's a lot more, but you want to look at schools that have an already established international program for the dental school, because then it's very likely that they may have a similar program for international students looking to specialize in the U.S. and get specialized training. Okay?
It was taking university-based. My question is, if I'm not proceeding with my application this year in U.S. programs, can I proceed in university-based courses specializing in ortho in Egypt?
Can you do what if you're not applying to the U.S. this year? Can you do what in Egypt? I can't hear you.
I will apply this year. I'm saying if I'm not accepted, I'm not strong enough, or if I'm not qualified enough for this position, can I do something in Egypt, like university-based courses?
So
preclinical courses.
I got your question. So you're asking if you're unsuccessful, or if you're not strong enough to get admitted into the U.S. programs this year, what can you do? Can you do something in Egypt that's going to help you?
Or apply into something like that in the U.S.
Or apply what?
Or apply into something like that, internship or.
Yeah, you may be able to apply for an internship in Egypt, but again, if your goal is to come to the U.S.,
yes,
it may not have any significance. I mean, again, that is why you're going to have to really do your research to find out what programs, what they're looking for and what they need, and where there's a collaboration with that the school has with countries or dental schools internationally. So I can't really tell you that if you don't get in, should you do another internship in Egypt? You may be wasting your time because that may not be the thing to do. You may do better just applying to dental school in the US and doing a 2-year program at the schools that have a 2-year international program. That one more year that you're waiting to apply again, you may be best suited and maybe a better investment of your time just to apply to dental school for the US for the 2-year programs, the international programs. Yeah. I mean, I know it's 2 more years that you have to go to, go to school, but at the same time, one of the advantages is that you have a US degree, dental degree, and which would enhance your candidacy for applying to those ortho programs in the US, especially those that have some connections with international dental schools. That may be a better option for you. But right now, I can't say that because I don't know, we don't know, you haven't gone through the process of looking at all of those schools and finding out which one is going to be advantageous for you to apply to. So I would tell you, do your research first about the programs, as I mentioned, and then we can, and maybe go ahead and I would say, do your research, let's apply. And you don't know until you apply. All of this doesn't mean anything until you actually apply. And then we find out what the result is. And then we can come back and kind of reconvene and say, all right, well, this worked. This didn't work as much. Now we've got a new strategy that we need to look into. But right now, I think you have enough of research and homework to do that'll keep you busy, that'll really be very informative for you to help you through this process. Okay.
My last question, or before my last question, a question about the pass and match application process of pass and match. If certain program at certain school is participating in match and in pass, should I apply to both the pass and match to register for that position, or is it enough to apply for one of those?
No, so good question about pass and about match and how that works. So real quick, and this will be we can talk about it more next time. Pass is just an application service. It's a big application service where it's a standardized application where candidates load up all of their information in this standardized application and then they have it. So that's one thing. The other thing is match. Match is another type of service, but it's a service based on the selection of the candidates to the program and the program selecting the candidates. Pass and match have nothing to do with one another. They're two separate services. So you can have a program that is in match, and you can also have a program that accepts pass as your way of giving and sharing your application. Another scenario, second scenario, you can have a program that uses pass as the application, but is not in match, which is the selection process, one of the selection processes, okay? That program may just have a rolling admission or their own in-house selection process that has nothing to do with match. So there are both programs that are in match, and what happens there is that the program has to list their top 5 people, and they put the people's name, and then the candidates have to rank their programs that they're interested in. They rank their number 1, their number 2, and number 3, and all that information from the candidate side, their ranking, and from the program side goes into this computer, and it does this old something in the computer like this algorithm, and it puts out, it matches where the candidate matched with the program. That's match. That's how match works. There are other programs that don't belong to match, and they just give you an offer right then and there, or in 2 weeks, they say, hey, Ahmed, we want to extend you an offer to our ortho program. Do you accept? Yes or no? And that's how they make their selections for their programs. So that's how pass and match work. Hey, man, thanks so much for your time today. This has been great. Despite some of the background noise, I think we're able to sum up some of the questions and get your answers. I'm so glad you contacted me, but I would love for us to do a follow-up, because I think it'll be key for us to really find out more about this question, because I get a lot of mentees and people that I talk to that are just like yourself, that are international students and graduates that are looking to come to the U.S. for training and to relocate. And it can be a little bit confusing, but I think the best thing for you to do, the best approach, is to use the internet and really search out the programs and find out more information and do your research and your homework. And that'll give you mostly the information that you need to make a decision on how to apply or how to best apply. And let's revisit this. Let's come back. Let's regroup in a couple months or so, or a couple months or so, that we can find out how you're doing. Okay?
Okay.
Hey, man. Yeah, I'm so excited that we linked up all the way from Cairo, Egypt. Hey, this is Dr. Hayes. That's my time for today. If you too have questions about applying either as an international student or as a U.S. student looking to get into dental school, looking to get into an ortho program or some type of specialty program, shoot me an email right up here. I don't know if you can see it. newdentistcoach@gmail.com. newdentistcoach@gmail.com. And again, be sure to subscribe to my channel, Dr. Darwin Speaks. And thanks so much for tuning in, and share this video with others. All right, man. Thanks so much. Take care.